We're talking about the great man who's at the helm of the St George Illawarra Dragons, Red V part of me, Shane Flanagan. Good afternoon.
G'day, Joel. G'day, Palmer.
G'day, Flanno. Would I be spot on with my summation of you with a move and a sausage roll in a roll?
That was probably morning tea on the building site, yes, mate.
Yeah,
how good was it?
They were the days. Flanno, actually, I was watching an old game. You were at hooker playing for Wests. And you had the haircut of what they all have now. It was like you were going back in a time machine.
Did he lead the charge?
Do you remember this, Flanno?
Short on the sides and long out the back.
Yeah, but you know how nowadays the kids are going the wide mullet?
Yes.
Flanno, you're the only one with it. I went, hang on.
Was he a
traveller?
Was he a WMP, a wide mullet pioneer?
He was.
Was he? A WMP? Who knew that?
And I had to ask you this. When you went to hooker, where did Joey go? Joey Thomas. Did he go into the back row? Because I saw you both in the same...
He went to 13, so... They had a pretty good side that year at West, so it was a privilege to play in that team. Langmack, Graham Wynn, Warren Ryan was the coach, so it was a good year, learning year for me.
Pops Farah in the centres.
Yep. Jason Taylor, Jamie Ainscoe. It was pretty good. Bobby Linder.
Wow.
Bobby Linder.
Jamie Ainscoe, what a character. But what about? Apparently, Wok told me this that. So Joey was playing dummy half, and then Flanno turned up. Flanno said, "If they got a Joe, let him go." Push him to lock. Flanno, how are we looking, mate? Because I mean, everyone wants to talk about who's going to make the top 8, and I think actually this is the hardest, most level-headed competition we've ever seen, and I refuse to see anything other than Shane Flanagan improving again on what he did last year. The good coaches coach. It's the number one commodity in the game. How do you feel you're placed for season 2025?
No, without a doubt, Joel, we'll be better again. I think this year was a little bit of a learning curve. I had to get the players fitter and stronger, and we did that. We saw some big changes in, a number of players, but I think everyone improved in that area, and that helped performance without a doubt. But, we got better players this year, I laughed when I thought that, some people are saying, the tab are saying that we're, going to have more losses than we did last year. We're going to be a way better football team than we were last year. We've got, some quality players coming into our roster, and as I said, we're a year older as a group, so I'm looking forward to the challenge, but also excited about it.
Flanno, the recent signing of Lachlan Ilias, I think it was a terrific signing. What do you see in him?
I just had a chat with a few people that I respect about, players' ability and character, and everyone I spoke to was about character. They said, "Look, he's an outstanding young man," and when he's been at South, we got pushed into a position that pretty young when Adam Reynolds went to Broncos, and we had a fair bit, which every halfback has. Kyle's had the same sort of situation that you're a halfback here in the NRL side. There's a lot of pressure falls on your shoulders, and he had that for a while when. I just think at 24, 25, leading the team around the park, he got aside to a major semi-final. So he's got some footy ability. He's had a bad injury, and we get him at a really good time. For a halfback, 24, 25, 26, their years. If they're elite kids, which I think Lockie's put him in that category, we're going to get him at the best time.
We have been very pro that signing, haven't we, Brian? And not everyone has on the text line, Flanno, but we kind of think, we're talking about NFL, and we're saying, like, Baker Mayfield, class rookie comes through in the NFL, and people were dissing him, and then he goes to a different environment. And same can apply for Kyle as well. We're very, very clearly talented young players, but if you get them in the right environment, and Lachlan Ilias, I don't believe Brian was given his best chance at South, where it felt like senior players had checked out, and the poor old young blokes pushing a boulder up the hill. This is good for Lockie. This is good for the Dragons.
Yeah, I was putting it into a similar situation, Flanno, when young Tommy Dearden, when he was at the Broncos, and that year they ran last, and everyone was saying, "Oh, this kid's not going to make it." It's very hard. We all know it's very hard for a halfback to have a positive influence on a game when his forwards are just getting pummeled. So I like the signing of him. Flanno, I want to ask you about Clint Gutherson. So there was some reports towards the end of last year when he was at the Eels. He had a torn quad and a bodgy knee. When you signed him, did you have to put him through a medical before he signed? And is everything okay now?
Yeah, Fletch, we put everyone through that medical sort of situation, but you're 100% right that Clint played the last, half a dozen games with a torn quad, and he actually had a bit of a knee complaint, and he also had rib cartilage damage. But if you look back at the team, Paris team, then Mitchell Moses was out injured, Junior Paulo was out injured. They had Dylan Brown was out injured. They had all their superstars and leaders out injured, and Gutho, the sort of person he is, he just played on. He said, "Look, I can get out there and I can do a job." And people probably judged him and said, "Look, he's a bit tired and slow," and Para getting beat, and sort of started judging him on that last month, but he was playing busted, and then the type of character he is, he just wanted to get out there. So, I couldn't wait to get him, and he's shown since we've got him, what an athlete he is. His endurance, and he won the race to the top of the mountain, and his leadership will be invaluable for us, next year and the next couple of years.
Just on that, is he a chance of being your skipper?
Yeah, it was interesting. I went to a lunch today for men of league, a family of league, and I think I might have been quoted as saying, they'll be the captains. More than likely, he'll be one of the captains. Him and Damien Cook are obviously standouts. They've been captain of their club, and obviously with Ben moving on, we haven't really got someone that's been captain at a club, and so those two, obvious, number one targets. What sort of leadership structure I have. If one of them's captain, one's vice captain, or they're both dual captains, I'm not quite sure. I had a bit of a leadership structure at the Sharks that worked well with Gal and Wade Graham and Michael Innes sort of sharing the role, and Luke Lewis. So we'll just see how it unfolds. But more than likely those two will be well and truly in the conversation.
Hey, Flanno, fascinated. You speak about the old Sharks. Fascinated what you do with Valentine Holmes. So obviously he's been playing centre at the Cowboys, and that's fine. But the wing position, which Lomax did so well for you, I think he's a world-class winger equally. And those carries at the back end of the field, Brian and I talk about this hybrid model where why can't you have a player do the big carries from wing and then slide into centre if they so wish when you get up the other end of the field? But what's the plan for Valentine Holmes? Because clearly he's a big cog in the wheel of the Dragons in 2025.
Yeah, he is, Joel, and you're exactly right. When Val was coming through, he's one of his best parts of his game was, I remember him early days at the Sharks, just fearless, just getting the ball and just charging back, making some big meters before he had contact and then contact after. And he was also dangerous that he scored, set up some length of the field tries for us back then. But I think at the moment he'll be real valuable for us at left centre. I'll move Moses Sully over to the right. He's always been a right-sided player, right-arm carry Moses. So Val will go into left centre, and then, we've got some real competition about who'll play on the wing, and obviously Gutho can start at fullback. But the luxury that I've got is I think Gutho could play centre if he had to, 5'80" if he have to. Val could play wing or fullback if he had to. So I've got some versatility there now, which I probably haven't had before. I've got sort of some more genuine either centres or wingers, and I haven't been to have that flexibility where I can move players around. But I'm definitely going to have it next year.
Brian, it's happening. I can feel it. The hybrid's happening. It is finally happening. The brutal role of the fullback, we are going to see Valentine Holmes and Clint Gutherson share. It's a bit like the West Indies charge back in the day, all different shapes and sizes come here.
I'll throw one at you. I'll throw one at you too, Joel, to make your little theory. Well, Tyrell Sloan has come back at 93 kilos and looking a treat. He was 85 when he left. He's 93 at the moment, and he can play a little bit of a role in that right wing hybrid fullback role. A little bit Tom Travojevic like.
Oh, hello hybrid, my old friend.
Hey, Flanno, is your top 30 squad filled up now?
No, we've got one to go, mate. We've got two to go. Nathan Lawson's probably been reported, who's just been named in World Sevens Team of the Year, which is pretty good for an Australian player. Yeah, he got named Australian Player of the Year, but just got named in the World Team of the Year for the Sevens. He's got, I think, one or two more games left with Australia there, and then he'll be back with us. Touch wood, everything's okay with him, and he'll be back with us in the middle of December. So that'll be 29. I'll have one left, and I'll probably just keep it up my sleeve, mate, to be honest.
Ooh,
well, you know what? I reckon that's smart.
So just when you say you keep it up your sleeve, you don't have to sign 30 players. What's the NRL rule?
No, I think you got to have 28 by December, maybe Christmas time or December 31, 28. And then I think it goes like round one, you've got to have 29, and then you can keep that 30th up to about June. Because you can, the idea of that is that, one of your good kids outside of your top 30 starts, playing well, you get an opportunity to, you can still play them if they're outside of your top 30, but it gives you an opportunity to push him up into your top 30 and reward him monetary-wise as well. So, sometimes you have the luxury you can do that. Last year we didn't really have that because Corey Allen did his ACL in pre-season, so we sort of lost a player straight away out of our top 30 and we had to bring someone else in. So it's a good way to, I think, if you can just save it. And we just see what the NRL is like now that, who knows, there could be a really good player come on the market in January, February.
Damien from Carrying Bars on the text line, Brian.
Yeah, he says Cookie can play centre if needed, Flanno. That's interesting.
Yeah, he could. He could. Well, he's exactly right, Fletch, that last year, you remember the Anzac Day one, Moses Sully off the kickoff gets knocked out.
Yeah.
And Kyle has to go and play centre and mark up against, I forget who was playing left.
Might have been, was it Joseph? Swali?
It was Joey Manu, that's right. So no, it's Joey Manu.
Oh, good luck.
And, that's a task against any good centre, let alone put a half out there. So, and it really affected us, the way we played that game. So now we can, I reckon Jacob Little could do it as well. He's got the leg speed and things. So now we've got, maybe a number 14, a specialist 14 that can play hooker, can play back row, and can slot in the centres. So really a big advantage for us as Joel's hybrid model. We're talking about hybrid hookers as well.
Now, at the end of season drinks, and my experience and all our experience, when you have a few beers, you start telling the truth a little bit and getting quite emotional. Did Zac Lomax come up to you and hand you his first Australian jersey and saying, "Thank you very much, Flanno. No one else would put me on the wing. I didn't even want to play on the wing."
Yep.
Was he appreciative of you making that decision?
I can't say that's happened, Fletch, but as a coach, you just got to get on with it, mate. I get great satisfaction out of watching Zac play, when it wasn't just my decision. Obviously we spoke about it as coaching staff, and eventually, I made the call that it had to happen, and, I'm happy for him. He's played Origin, played for his country, and, if he didn't play on the wing, it wouldn't have happened. But, in the end, I made the move, but Zac had to apply the skill set. He's really tried hard, and he has ripped into it, and, he's done a really good job at it.
Was it the fact that he's playing wing, or the fact he was wearing jersey number 5 or number 2? Because I know these younger players, sometimes that can play a part. Was he a little bit against it at the start when you said to him, "Look, I think you might go okay on the wing"? Yeah.
It's an interesting one, and I agree with some players are worried about the number on their back, and sometimes they're worried about the number on their back when it comes around negotiation period, because, obviously centres get more, in their eyes, centres get more than wingers, and fullbacks get more than centres and wingers, so there's a bit of a scale maybe on the pay rate, but Zach's probably just had a thing in his head maybe early on that, he was the centre, he wasn't a winger, but as time went on, he adjusted to it, and obviously, he's had a really good season, but I think the number on their back worries a lot of people sometimes.
Hey, Flanno, we've got to run, and we appreciate the amount of time you've spared us on this particular Wednesday. We wanted to talk about all these young guns coming through. We're not going to get to that today, but this one here, just to comment on this, the mole today on WWOS, so the Wild Water Sports.
Who's the mole?
The mole, Tony Adams. A rival NRL club is interested in poaching Shane Flanagan from the Dragons. Flanagan is contracted to coach the Dragons for another 2 seasons, but the other club, and no, it's not the Tigers, is keen to sign him up for 2026. A third party is set to make contact with Flanagan's management in coming weeks to see if there is any interest from the former Sharks premiership winning coach, Shane Flanagan. Thoughts?
Oh, you love interest. Everyone loves when someone wants them.
Yeah.
My number is 0418. Give him the rest.
Oh, he's too smart. The plumber. He's too smart, Brian.
Oh, yes.
He's too smart. Well done, Flanno. And the other thing you should know, Brian, that he's captaining your wacky team Wednesday?
No, he can't be in it. Can't have rugby league players in it.
You can't have rugby league players.
Especially with trendy haircuts all the way back in 1994. No rugby league players. No rugby. You got one for me, Flanno. So the wacky team is anything to do with clothing. Obviously, you were in it because of Flanno. You got anything for me?
Put me on the spot. I'll text you one.
Okay, perfect.
Text, and stop texting me those other videos you sent me on that WhatsApp thing. What is that? I don't even know. I had to turn it upside down. I still didn't know what it was.
Flanno, Brian is the third party, by the way, in this rumour. We are buyers of Shane Flanagan. We are buyers of Lachlan Ilias, and we wish you all the best in 2025.
Good on you, boys. Love your show.
Shane Flanagan, what a great man that is.